thought that's kind of why they were able to get back into the game. It was just some situational stuff in the third quarter. That team strives on momentum plays, transition, and ones, fouls, offensive rebounds, and we kind of gave a little of that up. And then I thought they went to some unique lineups, which was a great move by them for their switching it to slow us down. And then we were able to go to horns action with Derek, Drew, and Jaylen. We were able to create some separation, create some indecision, and we did a better job of defending. And so, that's the thing that we're looking at is like how do we play against switching, on ball, off ball, and we found a good frequency, and I thought our team executed that down the stretch.
Yeah, what about their defensive adjustment, the lineup adjustment that was able to bother you and your adjustment there?
Just their switching. They did a good job of it. They're long, they're athletic. They stay on your body. And there was a couple play calls we were looking for. We were looking for that one play call that could create indecision, get guys off our body, play with a little bit of speed. And Jayson, Drew, and Derek did a great job of executing that action down the stretch.
Luke had a great game. Just talk about how he was and just how happy were you to see him come out after not playing for a while and hit every shot.
I said before the game to the locker room, this is another opportunity. I don't care who we're playing against or what the starting lineup is or what the bench is. I got complete trust and confidence in the character of our locker room because of who they are. And I think we can win any game no matter what. So Luke's another one of those guys. Yeah, he's a professional, shows up to work every day, plays his role. And it was awesome to watch him play at the level that he did.
Joe, you talk about like the things you can take away. There's always something that you can take away, even from unique games like this. What is your biggest takeaway from this?
I think it's part of. I think it's O'Shea, Peyton, Nemi, Speed, Delano. I think it's those guys continuing to develop reps, playing in games that matter, playing minutes that matter. I think it's different lineups that you can look at. I think it's executing different sets. It's seeing that combination of Drew, Derek, and Jaylen. We haven't seen much of that off ball, so seeing that. And I think there was some situational stuff over the last two games that we have to get better at. And so we've blown a few situational things. And I think anytime you can win but leave the balance of, like, we got to do this better, I think that's good. So that's kind of what I thought the last two games presented.
They went without a center for a long stretch there, and you stayed with Luke Kornet for that stretch. What led you to stick with him even when things were going against you guys there?
Luke, I really trust Luke, and he has an innate ability to navigate our defensive coverages and to guard matchups and not get held up on miscommunications. And so he does a really good job of guarding different players and executing our different coverages really well. And on the offensive end, I thought he does a really good job of creating indecision versus switching. And so sometimes he hits under, sometimes he slips out. And I just think he's one of those guys that when you're playing against switching and you need to be unique defensively, he can really execute that. You're going to say sorry for telling Nemi to goaltend another shot?
I think I ask questions because I'm crazy, but...
Or you see him goaltend 3 times, and then you're like, oh, I don't speak this into existence.
Well, he's goaltending before.
I know. He's going to stop.
Well, now we know how you feel. I want to know how you felt about it.
Well, the second one I'm okay with because it's like, you put a guy down. Like, that one is what you're talking about, like the second goaltend. The first one is like they call a foul. It really doesn't look like it's going in, and that one you got to have better judgment on. So I explained that to him. Like, second one's great. Like, you got a guy kind of get going a little bit. You want to pin it off the backboard, that's fine. But the first one, we got to clean that up, especially on like a foul. Yeah.
How much has your faith increased in this team in the fourth quarter? You had every reason to fold. They 18-3 run in the beginning. Mm-hmm. They were hitting every shot. You guys were cold, but you guys were able to. How much faith has your faith increased over the last year or this season that this team can do whatever with whatever lineup you put in there?
It goes back to them. And so, like you said, no matter the lineup, we have small things we can go to. We have guys that are willing to step up. We have guys that understand it's about execution, it's about effort, and it's about toughness. So I got 1,000% faith in the entire locker room. I told them before the game, I don't care who's in, who's out, who we're playing. It doesn't matter. I know because of the DNA of the locker room, we got a chance. And I know we're always going to find, as long as effort, execution, toughness remains the same, we're always going to find small ways to affect the game, whether it's with a different set or a different defensive scheme. And like you said, we got that team does a great job of creating momentum plays. And so we let go of the rope a little bit, and they went on that 18-3 run. A lot of that stuff is stuff that you'd be willing to give up at times, Schroeder threes, McDaniel threes, but it's the and ones, it's the transition. And I thought our offense bogged us down, and those 16 turnovers is kind of what kept them in on that. But the poise to be able to just execute is kind of what we're looking to build.
You mentioned us a few times recently about kind of learning to play against switching and kind of improving in that area. What are you seeing there, and where is the room for growth, and what kind of has to happen maybe that isn't always happening?
Just got to play. It's the balance of cutting fast but not playing fast. And so it's all about creating separation. It's all about creating a decision. It's all about creating angles. And if you play one speed, they can stay on your body. You can't create separation, and they can switch you. If you cut fast but you play slow and you fight for angles on your screens and you create indecisions on 2-on-1s, that's kind of the space you want to live in. And so that bogged us down end of the third, most of the fourth, and then we went to the horn small action, and that's when we were able to create indecision, separation, and create 2-on-1s.
You're about to go face Chet and Wemby, like two guys that are kind of like unlike anything else in the league, except for KP, kind of some of the similarities. So I guess how fascinated are you and excited are you to face players like that, and how do you feel like KP's grown in the defensive system to be ready for a matchup like that?
I'm not fascinated, but I am excited to be able to. I think, San Antonio, obviously, you have Wemby, they're well coached. And then you have the challenge of playing against OKC. So I think this road trip, any road trip you go on presents challenges, it presents opportunities. I think KP's gotten better in our system. I think some of the things we've given up the last two games, we have to have an understanding of guys that we're willing to help off of, but situationally knowing when to help and when not to help is something that all of us have to get better at. Again, we're up 3 tonight. We overhelp a little bit and we give up a 3. We just got to, it's not the worst thing in the world to just go make a layup. So we just got to work on some of that stuff. But I'm excited to play. I'm always excited to go on road trips and take on the challenge.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.